time for another political video. Yay! But this week, I think I got the coolest news ever. Kamala Harris go bye-bye. And she was probably one of the most dangerous to those of you who have children and people like me who want children. She wanted to keep children in school till 6 p.m. Yeah, that's right. 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. And she might have even started the school at 6 a.m., so which would have been a 12-hour day. This is just more proof to me that Democrats just want to control every aspect of our lives, including how children are raised. I mean, they wanted to end homeschooling, private schooling, and they won't say it, but they especially want to end the religious schools, Christian schools, Catholic schools, Montessori schools, and so on. And this is just very, very dangerous to anyone out there who either has or wants a family. And we're not talking about children who are being abused. Yes, if a child is abused, someone has to step in. And this would be the same with single-payer health care. That would mean that the doctors and the government would decide what's best for your child. And this has already happened with Justina Pelletier. A few years ago, this girl was taken from her family because they asked for a second opinion on a medical diagnosis. And the doctor was young. I guess he was arrogant, so he decided they were bad parents, and the daughter was taken away. And when she was taken, she was ice skating. She might have been the next Nancy Kerrigan. She came home almost a year and a half later in a wheelchair. Good job, government. Yay! Let's put kids in wheelchairs. Now, I will say I do get disappointed with parents who, or potential parents, a pregnant woman who thinks that having a disabled child is the end of the world, although I understand no one wants a disabled child. But that child is still special. Okay, he or she can still achieve things. So, I understand you don't want it, but it shouldn't be treated like a life and death situation. I mean, if your kid has something like Tay-Sachs, that is something that sadly the child will die eventually, but most disabilities, they can learn to get around them. I was born half deaf, and my hearing's gotten worse over time, but you know what? I'm doing just fine. But anyways, that's a little off the point. I may do another video on that later. But the fact is that these Democrats, and it's mostly the Democrats, this is what all this climate change and all this is really about. It is about taking control of our lives, including how our children are raised. They want to control what you eat. They want to control what you buy, what you don't buy, what you wear. I mean, literally everything. And the thing they hate most is, of course, religion and freedom. And, and I think Kamala was probably the most dangerous. She was just very hell-bent on literally making your child her child. She wanted to decide what your child learns in school and everything. And right now, schools are failing big time. I'm seeing they're so busy pushing politics down the kids' throats. Kids can't even spell. They don't even know the difference now between grammar and spelling. If you correct someone's spelling, someone will say, "You're a grammar Nazi." No, that's a spelling Nazi. See, you can write a sentence with perfect grammar and crappy spelling, or the other way around. Perfect spelling and crappy grammar. Like bad grammar would be like, "I didn't do no nothing." That's bad grammar. But if I were to write that out, I could spell every word in there perfect, and it's still bad grammar. But altogether, people just really don't seem to be learning what they need to be learning in our schools. They're being taught, for example, the Revolutionary War was about slavery. They're being taught that the Brits were fighting us to get us to free our slaves, but the fact is, we freed our slaves 50 years before they did. They're changing history in order to turn your kids into what they want. And this is something that, I think every child should be homeschooled. I really would love to see the collapse of the public school system. I would absolutely love to see that. Because kids just aren't learning what they need to be learning. So anyways, see, Beto O'Rourke, of course, he didn't come right out and say it, but he really wanted to end the religious private schools. He hates religion. And these people claim to be Christians. Lately, these Democrats have been supposedly finding religion. But they're not finding religion. They're using the Bible to get you to see things their way. And, that's really not a good thing at all. If you want to know what the Bible really says, just pick up a Bible and read it. Don't listen to these idiots. They, fairly recently, I think it was Ilhan. Do you say that Ilhan? Is that how you say it? Ilhan Omar was saying, well, God doesn't want you to vote for certain people. Well, how do you know? You're not a Christian. And I know there are people who believe in God who are not Christians, but again, she's just trying to use the Bible to get you people to do what she wants you to do. And people do that all the time, I know. She's not the first one to do that, and she's not going to be the last. Unfortunately, even Christians have done it, but they shouldn't. So, anyways, there was also, I think it was, how do you say that, Buttigieg? I don't know. However you say it, saying that Jesus was a socialist. So it's because he would heal the sick and not ask for your medical information. Well, first of all, that's absolute crazy. If your doctor offers to treat you for free, that's not socialism. That's your doctor offering this to do this on his or her own free will. Look, stop that. Socialism is when the government takes over everything, the whole market. Jesus never did that. People say, well, he threw the moneylenders out of the temple. That's because they were in the temple. He never went to a marketplace and did this. So, no, he was not a socialist. And if you think he was, you need to pick up a Bible and read it, because it does say, if a man does not work, neither should he eat. The fact is, John Smith is not the first one who said that. He got it from the Bible, which is okay. It is a good lesson, whether you're a Christian or atheist or whatever. So those of you who are atheist, it is a good lesson. There are very good lessons in the Bible. You really don't have to be religious to get some of these lessons. But, lately they've been talking how more and more people are leaving the Democratic Party, and I can absolutely see why. Democrats just want to take control of it. Now they want you to stop eating meat, and they want you to eat bugs. I don't know about you, but I ain't eating bugs. They want to shut down an entire part of our economy and send America into a downward economic spiral. And that's really not a good thing at all. But the number one lesson I think you should take for those of you who have kids or want kids, they want to control your kids. And they're already on the verge of doing that. You know, they've got complete control of the school system. The liberal teachers are brainwashing kids. And for the kids who are religious, they're doing all they can to get your kid to see things their way. You know, a child is not the property of the government. They're members of the family from where they came. A lawyer in, I think it was from Delaware, who appeared on Tucker Carlson's show because he's trying to pass legislation so that children can decide whatever gender or race they are every day without notifying parents. I mean, are you kidding me? That's my kid, not yours. Mine, not yours. I'm saying you people need to wake up or your children will be raised by the government. And that's the first part of a dictatorship. And this is why I'm so tired of people saying Trump is a dictator. If he was a dictator, he would have already been doing all these things. If he was a dictator, he would have already taken the guns. If he was a dictator, he would have already taken over the school system. You know, this whole thing, the first thing you do when you want to take over a country besides take the guns is you take over the school system so that you can brainwash children. Now, why do you think these Democrats want to ban homeschooling and private schooling? You tell me. So, you know, they keep saying it's for the children. No, it's for them to control the children. That's all they want. And I'm not going to let these people take my nieces and nephews. There's no way I'm voting Democrat as long as I live. And I'm not saying Republicans are perfect. But right now, I'm not hearing them all making these policy pitches to us all. So, I hope you think long and hard and really pay attention to what they're saying. And I personally think you should be homeschooling your children rather than let the school brainwash them. Because, I mean, if they tried with Common Core, thankfully a lot of schools are no longer doing Common Core, but some are still doing it. I mean, one of the biggest things about Common Core that bothered me was this, they turned ratio lessons to Is It Fair? Now, some of you may remember studying ratios, like I pay $426 for 2 tickets on a cruise, while you paid, say, $682 for 3 tickets on the same cruise. Is this fair? But, you know, it's not about fairness. You know, maybe I got better accommodations than you, or you wanted to do activities that I didn't want to do that you had to pay for. It's not about fairness, but they're teaching kids that everything has to be fair. Well, life ain't fair, people. If life were fair,